So the first thing we're going to look at is the heading of our notes. And we're able to apply this even if we have some pre-made curriculum, such as math workbooks and other things. We can apply some of these concepts. Usually once you teach this process within the first week or so, students are using this very effectively. So the first step is at the beginning of any lesson, we have our students put two boxes at the top of the lesson or notes they're going to work on. If this is like a pre-made worksheet, they can put this at the very top. So the first thing that they would do is they put their boxes. We are going to put our date. Today is 3/9/21. And say we were working in Maple. So our Maple space. And we are going to do a cross-curricular lesson on converting units of measurement. And I'll put Maple space / math. And then we want to put our class and we'll say 8th grade, 8th, and maybe this is our math class, working with our math teacher. So the next thing we want to do is we want to work with our students to define our objectives. So we are looking at how to convert different units of measurement within the maple industry. So we're talking about quarts, gallons, pints, half pints. So we would discuss this with our students, and we would discuss as maple producers, we want to sell different products to our clientele. And to do that, we need to be able to offer different amounts or different volumes of product to our clientele or to the customer. So what is an objective as a class? And we can easily say that our objective is to convert units of volume. So here's our objective. And so what I would do is once we develop this objective with our students, we apply the scale that our students, we apply across everything. So when our students are a 0, that's just basically saying I have no knowledge. I've never had an experience with this as we're doing discourse learning. I've never had to convert units of volume. A 1 would be I have little knowledge. I have some awareness. I've heard of it, but I've never worked with it. Number 2 would be I can work independently. But I'll make some mistakes. So as a teacher, I know if my students are in this area, this is where I might need to hover or go back and check for understanding. Once I get to a 3, I can work independently and make no mistakes. So I would check in with these students from time to time just to have quick discussions. And number 4, I can teach. And this is really the highest level of knowledge, is when you can go through this process, you can take this objective, and then you're able to understand it well enough that you can now convert that to knowledge to somebody else. So I'm able to explain it correctly to somebody else. If I'm at a 3, I can do it, but I can't explain it. Number 4 is I can explain it. So I'd have my students go through, they would rate themselves and they would put it up here in the box at the beginning of the lesson. Maybe I'm a 1. I heard about converting units of volume, but I'm just not sure. I really don't know where to start. I might be able, once I get started, get going. So once we've gone through our lesson, and usually what I have my students do is I'm either going through the classroom, looking at their journal or their page to see where they're at, or I simply just have my teacher or my students hold a finger up and say, hey, where you're at, let me know. I'm able to make that mental note in my head. I have a group over here that I might need to, or I need to pull these kids over. If I have a bunch of kids saying they're 3, Once I've taught my lesson, I might do a quick, simple assessment, like a rapid fire assessment, and then have them let them go and let them work while I focus on these students that are a 1 or a 2. So after I've taught this lesson, I have my students reflect on the lesson, and then maybe I went from a 1, no knowledge, to a 2. I can do it a little bit, but I'm going to make some mistakes. This is great when you have an observation. This is an instantaneous assessment. If we have, again, a pre-made worksheet, where you will always have our date, you'll have the objective. So we'll have students write a quick little objective, student objective underneath the educational objective that they get from the state or from the curriculum company. And then they'll put their box on the right and they'll reflect. And this is where we can go back and we can check. And even as the teacher, I can say, oh, my students were a 1 and they're still at a 1. I really missed a mark. Or, man, they went from a 1 to a 4. And at the end of the lesson, with our assessment, quick assessment, I was able to tell that everybody were rock stars, and we can go on. So this is the beginning of your note taking. So next we're going to take a quick look at the body of notes.